I have to step up and say it, guys. Stop shadowboxing with dumbbells just because you saw someone on the internet do it. In this video, I'm going to tell you why exactly you should stop doing it and how it is affecting you. Hey squad, this is your favorite coach Remo, and today we're going to talk about, you already know what we're going to talk about, shadowboxing with dumbbells. First, let's understand the mechanics of punching. Imagine this, whenever you punch someone in the face, do you, one, put your hand over there and keep it there? Or two, when you punch him, you take it back? Well, unless, of course, you want to get punched in the face, you are gonna retract your punches. Now that sounds very basic and sounds like a common sense, right? But how is that related? What does a punch look like when you actually throw it at a full speed? It's gonna go something like boom. It's gonna extend and the shoulder pop and retract. What we don't do is boom and keep it there and just keep it like this. Whenever we punch, we want to make it snappy, like bah and bah. All right, bah. All right, not ugh. The key to power in punches has to be from the snap. But once you take a pair of heavy dumbbells like this, we're gonna go something like ugh, bah. You see how my punches are slow-mo? Like this. There is no snap to it, and we're actually doing more harm than good. And I'll explain it to you in a while. But first of all, take a look at this. If I punch with this, should I be able to snap it? No, because if I try to snap it, my shoulder is gonna snap from the joint, or it's gonna be my elbows. Because whenever we throw the punches with a dumbbell, we're actually fighting the added inertia and the weight of the dumbbell. And we're holding back our punches, and that there is the problem. When we do hold back our punches, we are, at the end of the day, rewiring our brain to hold back instead of snap. Alright? So you are fighting gravity, which is downward, but we're punching forward. But what difference does it make? I'm going to punch faster once I take it off, just like when I take off a heavy backpack, I feel lighter. Well, first of all, no one talks like that. Second,
よーしこれで楽に動けるぞいや
少しくらいの重りを外したところでガーラの砂についていけるわけが。
惜しい
早い。
すげえ
This isn't anime. And you're not Lee. Let me explain it to you why that is damaging you. First of all, any movements, no matter whatever skill you're doing, whether it's painting, boxing, kickboxing, badminton, cricket, football, whatever, each and every technique is made up of certain patterns which is set inside your brain. Let's not go into the dendrites and the neurons and etc, but to put it very shortly, each and every movement are set up of brain patterns. All right, so whenever you have drilled in thousands of punches like this, these are set patterns in your head. Whenever you take a pair of heavy dumbbells like this, you take a pair of heavy dumbbells, and whenever you try to punch, you're actually now adding in more information, like how we have to fight gravity to keep our hands up, or else if we just let it go, it's gonna fall downward. All right, so you're putting in new information, and now your brain is adjusting to the added weight. So when this happens, all those previous memories, all those previous drilling you did in order to have an efficient punch like bah, this, what happens is those are being rewritten and new informations with the dumbbells are being overwritten on top of those, and you start to fuck up your perfectly executed punches. Now picture this. Whenever we throw the punch, where is the direction of force? It is forward. But when we take a pair of dumbbell like this, when we throw it forward, what is the direction of the force? The direction of the dumbbell is downward, and see, I'm having a very difficult time holding it up like this for a longer period of time. So as you can see, damn, it hurts. It is really not like how we're doing lateral raises, all right? When we do add that, we keep forgetting that the force of the dumbbell is downward and not forward, and the force of the punch is forward. In order to grow, the resistance have to be in the opposite direction of the force of the punch, which is backward. All right, this is where the resistance should be, but this is where it is, which we don't need, because we're actually teaching our body to fire other muscles to keep our hands up, which in turn is actually ruining the perfectly executed punch, like I mentioned earlier. It eventually teaches you bad form of punching. Is really punching with the dumbbells then serving your purpose? Hell no, because that's not how it's working. Like I explained earlier, you're punching forward and the force of gravity is downward, so we're not having the active resistance backward. Remember, you only get stronger when you move against the resistance. That's why whenever we do a barbell or a dumbbell curl like this, the force of gravity is downward and we're going against it. And that is how we train our biceps. We do the same with a pair of dumbbell. And when we're doing a squat, when we go down, we're actually working against gravity. All right? So now that we know that in order to grow, you need to move against the resistance, why are we still punching with dumbbell? First of all, we're not getting the resistance where we need it. At the same time, it makes us look like a moron, and it actually fucks up your technique. Weight-loaded sports movement have a negative training effect on skills, because if you do not execute it properly, it can just ruin your hard-earned, hard-working, whatever you name it, all the skill that you have put in hours and hours of work into developing. In order for you to understand exactly what I'm saying, I'm going to give you an example you can try, well, whenever you're free. Probably you will not be able to try it right now since you're watching the video. Now, take a bicycle, if you have one, and on one side of the bicycle, why don't you load it with a heavy bag, probably 5 to 10 kilograms of something, and see if you can ride a bicycle. You will be able to do it with a little practice, but do it for 5 to 10 minutes, and after you're done riding it for 5 to 10 minutes, take it off and try to ride the bicycle again. You'll see if your weight was in the right side, after you take it off, when you try to ride the bicycle, it's going to go to the left. The reason for that is your body is very adaptive and very, very smart. In order to be stable, it actually teaches your brain to fire your muscles in a certain way for you to be balanced and stabilized. That is my proof for you to understand the learning effect of bad technique. That way you are forgetting how to stabilize yourself on a bicycle within minutes. All right? Now imagine if you practice with the dumbbell, how much you are actually negatively affecting your training. All right? I see some people using ankle weights to do kicks. Those are not for kicking. Those actually shift your center of gravity and teaches your brain different mechanics, because we do have biomechanics for a reason, and our brains are designed to adapt, to learn, to put it all into place for you to recall just like that. Why do you think boxers or fighters always react with a counter or a defense right out the bat? Those are muscle memory, and we ingrain them with years and years of practicing and drilling and engraving into your head. Remember, learning rewires your brain, and specific learning rewires your brain for specific tasks. It is called the SATE principle, which stands for Specific Adaptation to Imposed Demand. It means your body adapts to specific demands imposed on it. Make sense? And besides, whenever you're in the mat, the punching gloves are not 10 to 20 pounds, those are like 14 ounces. and MMA gloves are like 4 ounces. So whenever you're fighting, you are not actually fighting for the sports with that kind of setup. All right, just fight specific to your need, to your sports. All right, do not, I don't know, put in sand or heavy weights into your gloves and start throwing them. All right, because the gloves are not that heavy. These are there to make sure that the punches are snappy and powerful. Train movements, not muscles, my friend. This is what I teach my students and what I teach my clients. And besides, this is how every pro athletes train. They don't train for their muscle. This isn't a bodybuilding kind of training. They train for the movement, for the sports. So don't shadow box with dumbbells. You look like a moron. Stop it. All right. Train smart and hard. Don't just train hard. There are better ways to increase the power of your punches, and that's the topic for another video. If you have found this video helpful and interesting, pass this video along to your martial arts brethren so that they learn something new like you did. This way you can help them avoid silly and stupid mistakes, and they can thank you later on. And if you have any special questions that you want me to answer, you can just write them down in the comment section and I will try my best to answer you on the upcoming videos. And remember, be strong, be functional. Do not shadow box with dumbbells at the gym.